It wasn't any specific event that turned me into an addict all of a sudden. Growing up here in Cobb County, it wasn't anything outside of that ordinary white picket fence family. You know, at a real young age, it was always sneak dad's cigarettes or sneak a sip of the beer while they weren't looking. About 12 years old, one of my family members was smoking weed, so I went and smoked weed with them and thought it was the coolest feeling ever. Like, I really enjoyed being high. And that kind of progressed into me finding the friends that I did because they were doing the same things. About 15 years old, I started using the needle. I'd already found meth and heroin was around. It just kind of spiraled up and up and up. I had probably 4 really, really close friends. 2 of them are dead. One of them I have not talked to in God knows how long. Last I heard, he had just gotten out of prison. I'm really not sure what happened to him. And the 4th one is still in prison. He's the only one I keep in contact with, because the only one I can keep in contact with at this point. As a 16-year-old kid with an endless supply of just about anything I wanted, my addiction just skyrocketed. I quit playing football. I didn't care about anything outside of making money and getting high. I ended up dropping out of high school my 2nd semester, my senior year. I started discussing the idea of, like, what am I gonna do with my life? Because I'm an adult now, I don't have any idea. I'm just gonna be a criminal the rest of my life. And then the Navy was kind of my option. When I made it to boot camp, I failed for heroin and meth going in there. So my first detox was actually in boot camp. Alcohol was just, I don't want to say force-fed to you, but it was part of being a sailor. It's in their anthem. For the first couple months of being back, when I got discharged, I still drank because that's just what I did. Every time I would get good and drunk, I would want to go find meth, find heroin, find something that would get me to that point that I wanted to be at. And that actually caused my first daughter. It's kind of an area of guilt for me. Once I found out my first daughter was being born, it didn't even faze me. It probably got worse, if anything. It was not something that was life-changing like you would think. It didn't have that aha moment where it was like, I'm gonna have a child, I need to grow up. It was, all right, well, I'll pay for it when it happens. I went right back to what I knew best, selling dope, using dope. And when I'm selling, it was 24 hours a day. There was no point in time that I wouldn't be high. In 2014, I had my first big arrest. I did it because family wanted me to do it, and it was supposed to look good for court and all this other mess. For the last 2 days, 3 days that I was in that rehab, I was higher than a kite. I didn't even know that I had dope still on me. 3 weeks in, sitting leaning back on a table, and I looked down, and like in the zipper of my jeans, there's like 1.5 grams of dope. Well, dang. I had no idea this was here. I called my girl at the time who was coming up for family weekend and had her bring me 2 needles, 2 rigs. As soon as I got back to Atlanta, it took me long enough to get all my clothes in the bag and stuff I needed and hop on the bike and go. And at that point, if you'd asked me who I was, I'm a career criminal, man. I don't know. I don't have any better answer for you. 2014 to 2015, I don't even know how many overdoses and was pronounced dead 3 separate times. Between Narcan and some awesome EMTs and one crazy ex-girlfriend that was really good at CPR, that's the only reason I'm still here. What finally made me change my mind about my lifestyle was a very simple arrest, a very stupid arrest. The officer, instead of coming after me and just chasing me down and throwing me in the wall, he just said, hey, like, what's up, man? Like, set me on the hood of the car. Like, what's going on, man? You're looking rough. What's up? And it took me off guard. Like, I didn't know what to, okay, Him talking to me made me start thinking a little bit different. Maybe I needed to look at what I was doing. My lawyer came and sat down and walked right in the little visitation booth and was just like, You got the string of drug charges. I want to know what you're doing to fix yourself. I'd never really been asked that question before. This whole time, my mother, I can't even describe to you how much she mentions the zone and Missy, and you gotta check this out, and you gotta meet this person. On August 3rd, 2016, I was released from jail and got, not forced, but reminded that I had made the promise to come to the zone. So I came over here the very next day. Still wasn't really sure that I wanted to do recovery, but at that point in time, I made a promise to myself. Whatever it is they ask me, no matter how completely useless I think it is, I'm gonna at least give it a try. At this point, my best thinking got me landed in jail again and again and again. And it gave me a window to where I could actually work on myself. Originally, I was volunteering until I could find a job. Multiple felon high school dropout, finding a job is next to impossible. I ended up making myself useful at the zone, and they offered me a job here about a month and a half after I got out of jail. By helping everyone else, it lets us know where we were and we don't want to go back to. There is some shame and there is some guilt in the things that I've done, but that allows me to reach people and connect with people everywhere. I can't work harder on their recovery than they work on it themselves, but I can continue showing them what recovery can do and what the improvements it can make in your life.
After I lost my son, I knew that I had to do something to help. What we have built here is an entire community coming together.
You have these places where people go for their meetings, their AA meetings, their Monday nights, their Wednesday nights. The zone answered the question of, well, where does somebody go the other days of the week?